welcome back to another video, guys. So I just got done today. We started on it yesterday, but we are installing long tubes on the 4.6 today, 3-valve, and doing a battery relocation kit. And I also put the radiator support in too. I could do two. I'm gonna do 2-part video. One showing how I did the headers, what you have to do to get them in and out on a 4.6 3-valve. And then I can also show you the second part video is going to be of us showing the battery relocation kit and how we set that up. The radiator support is probably going to be part of the battery relocation kit because that is the quickest and easiest thing ever while I still have the wheels off. All right, let's get into it. All right, so here we go. So passenger side, obviously you'll have the battery here. You're gonna have to take the battery out, which normally for my the typical 4.6 3-valve, it's gonna be a 8-bolt on top of the positive and an 8-bolt for the negative. So take those out. The battery tray, there's total of 3 bolts. Mine only had 2 in it. One was right here and the other one was right here. Those were about a 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter, depending on the bolts that you put in. So then that's just to get the battery out of the way so you can reach bolts up here all across the top of the headers or stock manifolds, whichever ones you have inside the car. There is a total of 4 bolts across the top. There is one right here. You can see there. There's above this other runner, one right there. There is another one over here and one on top of that one, which is easier to get from this side right here. Same with that one. What you're gonna do is the bolts that BBK sent me are 10 millimeter heads. The ones previously I had on it from Pipes were 13 millimeter heads. The stock ones, they come as a studs, if I remember. Before I built the motor, they are studs that are sticking out with a nut. Those are 13 millimeter also. I also do not have power steering or AC in this car, so it makes it 10 times easier without that to get these headers in and out and putting the bolts on. For the passenger side, it is basically the same setup. You have bolts right across each pipe that goes into the head. It might be hard to see. There's one right here, and the last one's right there. All right. So for this side, what you're going to do is take out your air box, take all this off. Mine's, I just loosen this to set it on top of the manifold. You're going to also want to take out the 2 bolts right here that are 10 millimeters. That holds up the evap system, and it just makes it 10 times easier to get in there and disconnect the bolts down here to get the top side undone. Now, like I said, I don't have power steering and stuff either. So under the car, what you're gonna have to do is you have to take out the starter. There is a total of 3 bolts to take the actual starter off, and the 2 bolts that hold these power lines on, you gotta take the power line off. That was a 12 millimeter, I believe. The negative wire is a 10 millimeter. These bolts right here are a 10 millimeter. There's one right here. On the other side of this solenoid, I don't know if I'll be able to show it. It is up. There's one right here, and on the top side right there. Those are the 3 bolts holding the starter. For this side at least, for the passenger side, that's what you got to do to get this long tube in. And actually, you got to do it to get shorties in, manifolds out, and everything too. So no matter what, you got to take the starter out. For the passenger side, let me scoot my way over there. you're gonna have to take the steering rack out, column piece. So what you're gonna do is, you can see the little yellow mark. You're gonna want to take a paint marker or a Sharpie or whatever. You're gonna want to mark on the part where the bolt is holding it in and on the shaft, so you can line that back up when you put it back in the car. And what you're gonna do for this is, there's a 13mm bolt right here, and on the top side there is another 13mm. You can see it right where those yellow marks are. You want to mark that one too to make sure you line it up, because when you disconnect this shaft from that, that's directly connected to your steering wheel. While that's disconnected, your steering wheel can go whichever direction you want. Best way to do this is make sure your wheels are straight when you take it off, and make sure your steering wheel is straight to take it off. So whenever you put it back on, they're both just lined up. Easy way to go. So, when you order the long tubes, the collectors down underneath, at the end with the flange, want to make sure that they are the same size as your X-pipe or whatever you need to do to order it. I'm trying to use my original X-pipe that I had with my shorties, which we modified. So the original X-pipe, I cut up the downpipe part. I cut the downpipe flange off, but this doesn't work because this end's too small, so I had to order a 3-inch to the collector flange that ain't gonna be here till like 3 days. But cut it up, added a band for the 2 different sizes to hold that in. It's the original X-pipe still the hangers. We did have to heat up and spread them about 3 inches, which is not that hard to do. All you have to do is take a torch, heat up right around the bends by the hangers, and use whatever process you want. We used a cinder block on one side with a 6-ton bottle jack and wood to sit and pump the bottle jack, and it spread them apart. And the way you want to do it is, before you start spreading them apart, you want to heat the 2 bends up as hot as you can get them with a blowtorch or any kind of heat source that you can do that can heat up the pipe. And then while they're hot, use the bottle jack and pump it up to whatever measurement you need it to. So say I had to get these about 2 inches spread apart because they're from the center was 21 inches. What you want to do, I had to get it to 23. So estimate about, go 1.5 inches to 2 inches above what you need to be at. So whenever you release the whatever's holding it in pressure, once you cool down the pipe, once you heated it up, it's going to compress back in, but it's not going to go all the way back to the original size. So what we did was, did the bottle jack. We had to get it to 23 inches. We jacked it to about 24.5 to 25. And once we released the bottle jack, it came down to 23. But like I said, you got to heat up wherever you want bent, heat it up. And the best way to do it is heat it up, take a bottle of water or a cup of water or whatever, while you're wanting it to cool down, because you want it to rest in that spot. Cool it down and dump the water on top of it to cool it down rapidly so it stays. But it's a little bit iffy depending on what you have to use. Like I said, the bottle jack and cinder block, perfect. But so in this part of the video, I'm actually looking for a wrench that I have to hit the starter with because we have a bad ground on the starter. So my fiance is gonna turn the key while I hit the starter to get the car started.
This isn't fully charged. This only has like barely 12 volts on it.
Okay. You're plugging it on with something else?
Yeah, straight to the...
Ready? Go. right, so I showed you those parts about the X pipe and stuff. All right, now I'm gonna make a part 2 for you guys to click in the link and go straight to that one. See ya.